Hello and welcome back to my video course guide here, study guide for 308, Houston Community College course offered. And I'm going through and creating a study guide for not only myself but for the other students. If you want to study along with me, I put together a video study guide for myself to help study for the final exams with some information that I believe is important to know. Now we're moving into graphs and linear equations, and I'm going to explain, basically I'm going over the basic vocabulary and some of the key important concepts to understand before we start working with linear equations and to familiarize ourselves with. Now remember, we learned what coordinates were, and basically those are the digits inside of an ordered pair, which is our x, comma, y, and we learned the importance that it's called an ordered pair because when we go in to work with linear equations, it's important to know the difference between which number comes first. Of course, x comes before y, so whenever you see an ordered pair, you are going to place those digits, and I'll go into that and explain that later. But now I've drawn a graph, and I'm going to explain some basic information. Of course, you remember this here is going to be called our x-axis, and this here is going to be called our y-axis. And you can see how it's split into basically 4 sections. So we call these quadrants, and this here is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And yeah. So, and then I put this information here that they didn't describe this in the book here, but I believe it's important to know that whenever you're working, remember I had described it run over rise. So basically, whenever you're plotting your points here, whenever you see your coordinates, you want to go, if you're in quadrant 1, you understand, like if you see, you're going to start seeing coordinates so often that you're going to be able to look at them and tell which quadrant that they're going to be located in. So here we have quadrant 1, and you know that you have a positive run and a positive rise, which is, of course, your run is your horizontal movement, and your rise is your vertical movement here. So once you've got that number, you're going to plot it over here somewhere. And of course, if you're in quadrant 2, you know that your horizontal x coordinate here is going to be a negative number, and then your rise is going to be a positive number because we're rising up into a positive amount. And this first and third thing, I just used 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So, and then of course, if you're in here in 3, it's going to be a negative and a negative number here. So you're going to have your negative horizontal run and your negative rise. And then of course over here, if you're in quadrant 4, you're going to have your positive run and a negative rise. So that's some basic information. And of course, it's important to point out that our center here, if we have 0, 0, that is our origin of a graph. So that's some key information to learn about graphs, and now I'm going to go into some more details.